Hey guys, fourth and final door frame, or fourth circle of hell? Hey guys, welcome back to Alchemy Motorsports and the 71 Travelall, Project Tallhoe. This week, we're trying to finish up the last of the rust repairs on the inside of the door sill. This is the fourth and final door. So really, it finally is coming to a close. In a previous episode, you saw that complex corner get built, and I finished that episode with showing it installed. In this one, I'm going to go through and show you the process it took to actually get that thing in place, as well as repair the other corner of that same door frame. And then our next step will be getting the outrigger built to actually tie this B-pillar down to the floor pan. I'm really looking forward to that. It was an extremely satisfying landmark on the passenger side. If you happen to miss last week's episode, I'll throw a link up above so you can catch that. And if you're new here, there's a link to the full playlist for Project Tallhoe down in the description. But either way, if you guys like what you see while you're watching this episode, please hit that like button, tap subscribe for me, tell your friends. Anything you can do will help us build the channel. It's something I really appreciate, and it helps me continue making more episodes. Anyway guys, we've got more rust to deal with, so let's get stuck into that. I'm not man enough to make that happen solo. I think I better just go back to cutting it into pieces. Okay, so we are ready to finish the last steps of fitting this thing. Excuse me. A couple of easy things to do. I need to cut this off into a straight line, make that a vertical, so all of that fits in there nicely. I think I need to give this just a little bit of a twist, just clock it around slightly. It looks like it just tweaked a bit. And then from there, we just need to start cutting. I can't really cut and butt this one because of the three-dimensional shape, the way I did, say, this piece. We're just overlapping them and cut them together. So we're going to start just by cutting this off in a straight line and fixing that. And then we will cut most of all of this out and then slowly work our way in to the cut that we need to have. Alright, well you can see that despite my best efforts, that really turned out kind of crap. I just had a little bit of a twist in it that threw off my mojo, and I ended up overcutting here and overcutting here, and so I'm gonna have to go back and cut some little bits to fill those back in. Oh well. Still better than a lot of the other work I've done. Well, we patched up those holes we made. Got that installed. Obviously, even with building that patch panel the way I did, once everything was together, it still took some final tweaking. It still took a little bit to really get that piece in there. And if I hadn't made some of the cuts I made, that would have been a little bit easier. But it is what it is. So that is all in. Now, well, one thing. I don't think I meant to weld this section. I think I meant to leave this undone because there's so much rust damage right here. I probably have to replace that whole section anyway. So I'm probably going to have to cut along these welds when I build this outer panel again. So there's that. And there's that, all finish installed. I didn't grind that back because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be cutting that weld again, so it just didn't matter. And I'm more or less finished across here. On to that. Well, I think my compressor just died. Gonna have to figure out what's going on, if I burned out the motor or what just happened. This is unloaded. I took the belt off so it's not turning the compressor. This is what the motor sounds like. And this is how easy the compressor is turning right now. But when these two are hooked together, the motor just kind of hops and skips. So I think the motor might be toast. Son of a bitch. Didn't realize I was hitting right there. I just turned that to paper. So I'm gonna have to do something to fix that. Alright, so I ran a hole saw down through the places where I had done the most damage. And then I just prepped these. Oh. So those are just welded to a nail, so I have something to hold on to put it into the hole and get it all welded up. So with those all welded in and very badly ground down, as well as a bad job done here, and a bad job done up here, there's still a bunch of work left to really polish that thing off. However, much like the other side, I think it's probably just better if I remove the door and then go from there. With the door off, I can really get in here and grind this all down clean. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Take the door off and then, realign the panel gaps and all that kind of stuff. So I think for now, we're going to call that done. I've just made up this tape template. This is the outrigger that I built for the B-pillar, tying it down to the floor pan on the passenger side. So I just basically built myself a template, sketched out where the basic lines go, so that I can build another one of these for the driver's side. So now I've got to get it cut apart and laid out and figure out how I'm going to build the new one. Alright, so that random chunk isn't quite big enough. All that mapping was a bit of a waste. I need to clean this metal back first, dummy. Otherwise I grind off all of my measuring marks anyway. I'm hoping I can make all these bends
on the brake, at least for the most part, but I'm trying to think my way through how to do them all, and I don't really know what I'm doing. But I've got to break it here, 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 and here. So those are all the breaks that I have to make in this thing. So the shape itself seemed to bend up pretty good. Some of this will be cut away, I'm pretty sure, because it drops down inside the rocker. And then I just need to bend this over and finish shaping it. And I totally screwed the pooch on that. I'm going to have to weld a little piece in. My trim should have been vertical with this line so that it just rested against the B-pillar. Oh well. That worked pretty well. Obviously this is all wrong and whatever, but that's okay. Alright, let's see how this thing fits. So a quick test fit shows that it flares out too much here. So let's see how it compares to this. And I don't know how well you can see it, but this line is right on that fold. This one tapers in quite a bit, almost 1/4 of an inch down here. So this fold does appear to be in the wrong place. See if I can rebend it. Alright, the next big step is we've got to fit all of this in there. So this side doesn't have a whole lot of space for a drop down. I've only got basically that width. narrowed this, tapped these over, welded those seams up. Unfortunately, I actually narrowed that way too much, but I'm not going to do anything about it now. It is what it is. Also, when I was test fitting the bottom, it would touch out here and have like a 1/4 of an inch gap back here. And I didn't want to make this shorter overall. So I just welded in some patches, and I'm just going to cut it back and test fit it and do that a couple of times. So this is a little bit closer to fitting right now. So we're going to go ahead, make those cuts, see how it's fitting.
That's where we're going to end it this week. That Outrigger is built. Probably still needs a little bit of touch up. My parts always do right as I actually go to weld them in. But it's ready to go, basically. So, we're going to call it there. Next week, there's some welding that has to get done before I install that Outrigger. I've got to tie that plate back to the B-pillar and then weld the Outrigger on over that plate that I installed as a rust repair. So we'll pick up there next week and hopefully get that finished, as well as start getting the floor pans attached to each other. Maybe even move on to that A-pillar patch like I built over on the passenger side. We're making good progress right now. We've just got to stick to it and finish the last of this job. Then we can move on to some things that are a little bit more fun for me. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Catch you on the next one.